something wrong there. Or if the quantity of sadness or negativity that I feel is so out of touch or context, then I need to be careful. If there are suicidal thoughts, if there are biological function disturbance, sleep or appetite being significantly disturbed. And so to repeat, I guess all psychological to psychiatric problems, differentiation, normalcy to abnormalcy is a matter of quantity and quality both, and so it is for depression.
All right. Now, Dr. Chadha, are there any stages of depression? Like how does it manifest itself when it is, just in the initial stages, and what happens as it progresses?
See, stages it would be difficult to say because it's not like say
Any
stages in the cancer, say
Correct,
stage 1,
correct.
2, 3, 4. It's basically say depression. First thing is a normal emotion. I mean, sadness is a normal emotion.
Right.
Yeah. So when this emotion becomes, this sadness becomes excessive, as Dr. Desai said, that when the symptoms, the sadness continues for a long time, which could be say 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it starts interfering in your day-to-day functioning. So at that stage it becomes illness. It starts affecting, say if you are depressed, say you are feeling sad for say an hour or 2 hours, that won't interfere in too much of your day-to-day activities or your functioning. But if once it continues say for 15 days or a month, it starts interfering in your day-to-day functioning. It starts affecting your job, your socialization, your daily activities like food intake, even sleep gets disturbed, you start getting negative thoughts. So because negative thought, you start losing confidence. So all these things, and it starts affecting the body functioning, appetite, sexual drive, may lead to say increased muscular tension, aches and pains. So it's very distressing. It's very distressing. It's not a like a normal feeling. It's a very, very painful feeling. So there's a wide range of symptoms that means you may get ideas of hopelessness, helplessness, death wishes, suicidal ideation. People may have. So a range of means it starts affecting every sphere of functioning.
Right. Now, Dr. Manju, if someone were to come to you with these kind of symptoms or just the initial symptoms, are there any tests that you would want to run on this person in psychology? Is there something like tests? If
Definitely.
Yes,
there are a number of scales,
Okay.
because sometimes the family members and the person may feel that he is depressed. So it may be a subjective, the premorbid condition of the person and his present functioning. We would also like to see his interpersonal problems if there are any. And also there are some tests in which is like a Rorschach ink blot test and all that, in which we get objective assessment about depression and how a person is handling it.
Okay. Now, Dr. Rastogi, I would want you now to tell us a little bit about people who are drug addicts. Now, does addiction lead to any kind of depression, or do depressed people easily fall for drugs?
It is both way. It is both way. What is important is nowadays the concept has come, because which one leading to which one. Instead we talk about comorbidity. That means if you have a depression and along with that the person is taking alcohol or the drugs, then he is having the comorbid substance abuse disorder, right? And if a person who is having alcohol dependence syndrome or substance abuse, and then he can develop depression
as a result,
after the, or he may be having depression, and because of the depression he has started taking drugs to initially overcome that anxiety. So nowadays we talk about the coexisting illnesses, comorbid illnesses. That means the presence of an additional illness along with the index illness for which the person has come for the treatment. Yes, what you have raised is very important issue and very vital issue. Most of the time the substance abuse is often missed when we are talking about depression, or we are treating depression. So we need to always evaluate when we are treating depression, does this person has an additional illness in the form of, or whether it may not be in the form of an illness, but he is abusing those substances. So simultaneously need to be treated for that, because otherwise the depression may likely to recur, or it may take much longer if we miss that. So it is very important to be aware of that.
Right. Now, Dr. Desai, another very important factor, I think one of the causes is poverty, abject poverty. I think this is one condition that can lead any person into that depressive state.
Economic poverty, social adversity, psychological disadvantage are certainly, as my colleagues have said, contributing factors to depression for an individual, for a group, for a society. But let's not confuse that with it being a major psychiatric. Now, how does that happen? That happens because there is
arthritis. He was a professor. What he observed is that he has given felt that it is more than the arthritis.
Right.
So he brought. We treated the. He was saying is he not recognized with the comorbid condition of medical medical. Conditions.
Absolutely. Well, it's time.
जब 2 महीने में इतना आराम आ गया तो फालतू में 6-8 महीने क्यों दवा खाऊं? शेप जैसी छोटी चीज की परवाह है, जिंदगी की परवाह नहीं.
Told you as to how it can be caused and what would be the symptoms of depression. She is having any kind of suicidal tendencies.
Here, person is getting that the way
if we can save one. And the second, what Dr. Chadda said, I'm sure he'll agree with. I believe, and I think there's very good data to suggest, that any decades, if he or she does not recognize, cannot be true. We all do that. It's a very difficult experience. You know, what he. Unfortunately, human behavior is to that extent still unpredictable.
I think we are losing a lot of lives. So would you agree?
A lot of people don't want to hide their feelings. They
psychotherapy can work. How the two things act together. Is a much maligned treatment, unfortunately. That is authorized. That's the great news that we need to get to the people. This
know that what is this shock treatment or this therapy? Or
it's an outpatient procedure. Person does not need to be admitted. It's not introduced. It was
as to what ECT really is. Well, if you don't know, please go to the right people. Don't just.
There is no need for the drugs. And once you talk about drugs, the clipping an opportunity and talk about that.
What does that really mean?
Serotonin reuptake inhibitors. There are 6-7 drugs available. Now they have much more friendly to the patient population.
Right.
So
years that I think all four of us have been in this field, the treatment of of depression as I would say change 180. When in now
So sometimes, you know, the life may get
best till now. We are raring to go. We are here to help.
Toll-free number is 1-800-1153-1.
For coming today and for telling us as to what depression is and how it can be managed. So I think the message is loud and clear. First and foremost, we need to be prevented and managed to it and pick it up. And you'd be surprised if you pick up any actually pushing back. For all you know, it could change your life forever. So do remember and try and with that, it's a wrap up of today's